Hey, we've made it. Our fourth and final module of our project-based learning coursework, and it's time to put it all together. I love this cartoon, the Calvin and Hobbes, where Calvin's given an assignment which doesn't seem so interesting to him. But in fact, he creates this very elaborate project in which to do the work. And Hobbes asks him, wouldn't it be easier just to do it this way? Less work? And Calvin answers, you know what? It's only work if somebody makes you do it. And that to me says what project-based learning is. It inspires our students to work hard, to work towards a goal, to use their innovative spirit and think of new and exciting ways to access information and get work done. So, as I like to do, we'll start with some learning targets. By the time we finish this module, not just this slideshow, but the module itself, this is what our targets are. First, I can identify the key elements needed to plan a successful learning expedition as part of project-based learning. I can develop a reasonable timeline for my learning expedition. Third, I can create and share a project plan for my learning expedition. And lastly, I can reflect on how planning an expedition using project-based learning is different than how I have planned in the past. So let's get right to it. Developing a project plan. Here are some questions for you to consider. First, what content or curricular areas do I need to cover? Are you responsible for Jewish history? Maybe you're responsible for Israel education. Perhaps you are responsible for Midot or Jewish ethics. Or maybe there's something else that you're responsible for. Whatever it is, knowing what the expectations are will help you to formulate your project. The second thing you should ask yourself, how long will my expedition last? Beginning with the end in mind helps to create a manageable work plan. Know what your goal is and work backwards. If you have 6 weeks to work on a project, then you need to start with that last date and work backwards to figure out when you need to be done, how you're going to build in time for drafts, how you're going to build in time in case there's a snow day. Knowing that endpoint is so important. Third, what is my guiding question for the expedition? This is work that we've done over the last few weeks together. So this should already be well defined and in good shape. But you should remember that good guiding question should be open-ended, yet focus inquiry on a specific topic. It should be non-judgmental, but answering them requires high-level cognitive work on the part of our students. It encourages them to think and, in fact, ask additional questions. Third, it's going to have a motive force, an intellectual bite, and it's going to be succinct. Fourth, ask yourself, what are my resources? Who are the experts that I can bring in to meet with my students? I would bet that you have people in your own community who are experts in content area or with certain skills who would be thrilled to be asked to come in and act as experts for your students, fostering connections across the community. And where can you go to visit to learn more? In fact, this is such a powerful tool to be able to go out into the community and do this field work. Ask yourself, when will we present our project and who will be there? There's a hierarchy of audience that helps us to plan and make sure that we're doing our very best work. Ron Berger, who is a guru in project-based learning in the secular world, talks about this, that your motivation and engagement really increase when that kind of the purpose of the project is for a public realm. So if you look at this graphic, to present just for the teacher, I'm not going to be so motivated to do my best work. But if I'm going to share it with uh, my community, my school community, I'm going to try a little harder. If I'm going to present it to the public beyond the school, I'm going to try even harder. If I'm going to be of service to the world, I know that this work is important, and I am going to do my very best and really internalize the learning. Ask yourself, how will I build in opportunities for multiple drafts to support excellence? I love this cartoon, which really shows that God, when writing the commandments, wrote it in drafts. And I love the feedback that Moses gives to God, being specific, being kind, and being helpful. God, it's good. I like it. That's the kind part. I know these people. They're going to want specifics. We need to make sure that we build in opportunities all the time to be able to look at our work and improve on it. What learning opportunities will my students have to reflect on their learning? John Dewey says, we don't really learn from the experience, we learn from reflecting on that experience. What will that reflection look like? Will it be a written reflection? Will it be artistic? Will there be some conversation and dialogue? Will they be open-ended questions? Will they be interviews? Find out what's going to be most meaningful to your students. What learning targets do I want to include? What will my students know and do as a result of this expedition? Make them partners in this. Give them the information they need to succeed, to know where they're going. And finally, how will I build in time for reflection for me as the teacher? Who am I going to go to for support, questions, and troubleshooting along the way? I want to use this reflection in the learning to inform my practice. This reflection cycle really shows that. We need to collect the information. We need an opportunity to digest it and analyze it, to see how our students are faring, and then modify how we move forward. In my community, we do this as a staff. In the beginning, we were doing it every week, but now we do it once a month. And it really has improved how we move forward in our expeditions. So you're ready. You're ready to plan your project-based learning expedition. And I would tell you, have fun. This is a major change from how we have operated in the past. We're going to make some mistakes along the way, but we're going to have some amazing successes. So enjoy. You may want to take this graphic of the star, when we're planning an expedition that builds Jewish identity. Look at each of the points of the star. Make sure that you're meeting each point and keeping in the center that deep learning of Jewish wisdom and of Torah. That's what's going to change it from being a cool project to project-based learning. It's always grounded in deep, rich learning that offers our students the opportunity to make connections to their everyday life. Let's circle back to those targets. Some of these we can answer now based on our presentation, and others as you complete the module itself. Are you able to identify the key elements needed to plan a successful learning expedition? Are you thinking about a reasonable timeline for your learning expedition? Can you create and share that project plan for your learning expedition? I'm looking forward to reading them and to offering feedback. And finally, what will your reflection be on how planning the expedition using this approach is different than how you planned in the past? As always, I'm available for questions and concerns. Utilize your colleagues on the forum to ask other questions, and good luck. I am so excited and have felt so honored to be working with all of you over the last several weeks. and I can't wait to see what you come up with.